Hello and welcome to the May YTP Community Practice. Thanks everybody so much for being here today. My name is Michelle Markle and I'm the Voc Rehab YTP Coordinator. And we have our awesome, wonderful TAPs with us here. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Jesse, you go.
Hey guys, Jesse Berkey here, University of Oregon, YTP Technical Assistance Provider for a little longer. It's Marion, Polk, and Clackamas counties that I serve. Then I see Garrett.
Hey, I'm Garrett. I'm the TAP for the Northwest region. Joyce or Terry, whoever wants to go. I see you.
We're muted. Oh,
No, we're not muted.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Joyce. I am the TAP for Heart Email here, Grant, Southern Oregon, the Lane, Benton, Lincoln area. Terry?
Okay, just a second. Allergies are bad over here today. I'm Terry and I am the TAP for Central and Eastern Oregon. Nice to see everybody.
Is Mary Jo on? Mary Jo, are you here? Okay, let me know if Mary Jo joins us so we can introduce her. Sally, you're here. Are you here, Sally?
Hi, I'm Sally Simich from Oregon Department of Education.
Great. And Charlotte, are you on? Oh, there's Mary Jo. Hi, Mary Jo.
Sorry,
That's all right.
I've been here.
This
Mary
is
Jo Erickson, Lane County and Douglas out to the coast. Hi, everybody.
And
Charlotte is here. Our sound gets all crazy when we're all in one room together.
Okay. All right. Charlotte, are you wanting to introduce yourself? Are you here with us? We can picture you.
I am here, and
Okay, there we go.
Charlotte Alverson at the University of Oregon.
Awesome. All right. We're going to get to a whole bunch more introductions here in a little bit. But we wanted to start with just this team here and get you ready for our content for the day. Now, what do you see? Is this the presentation version?
It looks
Yes.
nice. It's pretty.
You're great.
Did it. Okay, this theme was speaking to me today because it feels like all of a sudden spring happened. I don't know if that happened where you were all living, but all of a sudden flowers are blooming.
Michelle,
Yeah,
when you share your screen, you get all choppy.
I'll turn my camera off. And hopefully that will do well enough. And I will speak more slowly and more clearly. Okay, so today we're here for Community of Practice. And, okay, next slide. Why aren't you working for me? Next slide. Hold on. Come on. There we go. Okay. Our agenda for today is welcome. You're here. Welcome. We've already done that. We're going to review where we're at in our timeline between now and the end of the biennium. We are going to focus on our purpose of today. Then we're going to do an overview of our large network. I'm going to be sprinkling in little reminders throughout. And then we also have some VR updates at the very end and potentially, if we've got time, room for questions. Okay, so starting with review, where we're at. All right, so here's our timeline. As our University of Oregon Friends and Support Sunset, we're looking at month by month what we've accomplished and what we're planning for. And so for April, we launched our website, or our new database for PREETs. And then in May, that's where we're at now, we're going to be identifying your transition support team. We want to remind you that the database is turning off this month and to print, share, save your detail report. We'll come back to that. June, we want you to be sure and complete your PREETs data for the quarter. We will have a community practice in June with status updates. We are not having Summer Academy this year. We do have a wonderful Y2P celebration June 3rd in Eugene that I've got more info on to share in a moment. And a reminder that Y2P is a year-round pattern of service, so beginning either late June or in July, we look forward to seeing and hearing about all of your wonderful summer programming. All right, April. Last month, we introduced the interim data tool for pre-eds. We have 779 responses so far. It's working. The feedback that our TAPs have been getting and have shared with me mostly is around the struggle of remembering, who did I already enter? Did I already enter this person or not? So remember to use those tools and tracking documents that we shared. If you haven't landed on one, go back to the Y2P website, which is linked there below in the resources, and check those out. Phone a friend, call me, call Triana, and we can help you find a tool that manages that. Your resources are there on the Y2P website. And we also have our Y2P office hours, which are every other Monday, 12 to 12:30, and every other Wednesday, 3 to 3:30. And I believe I've sent that invite out to everybody whose contact info I have. If you don't have it, let me know and we will get those invites to you. There's no agenda at those meetings. The agenda is just the questions you have so that we can answer them. With our pre-eds data entry tool, we're able to see interesting information. So I thought you might just find it interesting to see this as well. We're able to look at who's receiving pre-eds by ethnicity. We're able to see if it's the first time a student has received a pre-eds or not. And we can see if the student receiving it is part of the student base or not. So those are just interesting little snapshots that we've been peeking at recently. Okay, and here we are in May. Our focus of this month is really a couple different things. First, we want to make sure that everybody is very, very clear and understands that not the pre-eds database now, we're talking about the Y2P database, turns off May 31st. So we want everybody to please, 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 please schedule yourself a reminder, put big stickies around the entire screen of your computer, whatever it is that helps you remember to, at the end of the month, before it turns off, save your detailed report. You want to print it out, that's wonderful. Make a couple copies. Save digital copies. We actually recommend doing both. We have quite a bit of turnover in our roles, and we have heard of instances where somebody saves a file digitally, and then when that employee goes away, their digital files aren't accessible. So we'd love it if you save a couple, even if you're doing digital, but to save a few printed copies, share the copies with your admin, with your VRC, just so that people have that information. It is really important information. And then our purpose of the day of this May's community practice mainly is that each transition specialist, you all, will understand our roles within the statewide transition network, that you can identify your unique support team, as well as the resources that are being built as our U of O supports sunset. All right, and I love this quote, and I just kept wanting to add things because these slides are so pretty. None of us is as smart as all of us. Ken Blanchard. So we have a big old group of people in our state that work together. Some of us are part of the TTAN, the Transition Technical Assistance Network throughout the state. And then we also work with people like our VRCs and our school administrators and our special ed teachers and school counselors and things like that that aren't formally a part of the TTAN, but they're part of this larger network of supports that we all have access to. And so today what we want to do is focus on, you understanding a snapshot of all of these roles, how they interplay, and then also being able to identify your own unique team. Okay, and so in just a moment, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. But for this next little bit before we get back into the PowerPoint, here's what it's going to look like. Last week on Thursday, I think it was Thursday, I sent all of you an email that had some documents in it that we were hoping you would have open and available for this community of practice. The two documents in that email were called My Transition Support Network and My Transition Support Team. I'll show you in just a second what they look like. So you'll have a little bit of time here to get those open. Then we're going to do a network overview where a spokesperson from each of the roles on the My Transition Support Network document gives you a general overview of that role, what the role does, why you might call the role this person. And then we're going to do introductions by role. So like all of the pre-EDS coordinators will introduce themselves in a bunch, and then all of the transition network facilitators will. But I'll go ahead and lead where we're going throughout. So they're going to go through and they're going to say their name, their role, their region, and then something interesting or funny about themselves. And then you, in the meantime, we hope you have these documents open the whole entire time and that you're able to follow along and identify what's going on with each role, and that you're able to fill out by name what your unique support team is, okay? And if you can't, then we're here to help you. We're gonna do this all together. We're not gonna do any breakouts. So is everybody ready?
There is a question.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. Garrett answered it.
And I answered the question. If you don't have those documents, if you can't find them, if you go to the link I just posted in the chat, at the very bottom, there are two links that have those under supporting documents.
You're so awesome. Thank you so much, Garrett. I'm going to share my screen really quickly to show people what they look like visually. Are you seeing My Transition Support Network?
Yes,
I can't see you guys. Okay,
yes.
thank you. All right, so this is the one where we're going to talk about the general overview of each of the roles. Then we're going to have people introduce themselves in this order that's on the back.
Michelle, you need to turn your camera off again.
Okay, and then I'm going to switch my screen share. We want you to, okay, here's the same information, but this is specific to TTAM here on this. To be able to fill out who your person is for each one of these roles, right? Because it's a little bit different for each person around the state, depending on where you happen to be on the map. Okay. So we'll pause after each of the roles and we'll say, look at the map, identify your person, write their name in, and then we'll move on to the next role. All right. You guys ready for all of this? Yes, yes, yes. Ready?
We're
Okay.
ready. Let's
You're
get the
ready.
show on
All
the
right.
road.
I'm on the road already. Quit talking about it. Before we go, I'm still breaking up. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, I'll keep my camera off. Everybody needs to tell Sherry I need a computer with better working memory because I have wicked fast internet. I promise. So let's all tell her I need a faster computer or computer with better working memory. Okay, so one thing to remember here that's really important is we're talking to you guys. You guys are YTP schools, you're transition specialists in YTP schools, and YTP is in 200, just over 200 schools across the state. And a lot of these folks that we're going to be meeting today and learning about their roles they do and they can partner with you in certain ways, but also really by design, they're intended to support the other 200 some schools in Oregon that don't have YTP. So there's a little bit of play between YTP schools and non-YTP schools, and it kind of shifts and changes by role. And we're in an interim right now where we know we're going to be getting new positions. We're going to be getting a new youth manager, and we're going to be getting 4 new VR youth services coordinators. Those folks aren't here yet. So we're all here to pitch in. And it's really important with YTP and VR that you come to us in VR, the folks in VR, as things are shifting and changing. And then we want to just go ahead and access the wonderful capacity and knowledge and wisdom and fun of this whole entire network. So anyway, I wanted to start with that. And on your document, the Transition Support Network, I'm going to reopen that back up so we can follow along. I wanted to highlight, we were kind of thinking about how to make this as clear as possible without confusing people. We wanted to just name a shared responsibility. And that shared responsibility we all have is to bridge between educational and agency services available to students. We inform each other about shared opportunities and agency-specific requirements, and ultimately how we can collaborate for the benefit of each student. Okay. And then we started with the local core team. This is organized by local core team, statewide team, and regional team. Now, we didn't invite, school administrators and teachers, counselors you work with, everybody's always invited, but we didn't specifically reach out and invite anybody from these folks. But one of the things that we realized when we were thinking about this is that we often get this question of like, who's my boss? Who's the boss of me? I am YTP funded, but I work for a school district. Who's my boss, right? So we wanted to just go ahead and call this out, that you are employees of the school district. So your boss, your supervisor is the school administrator, right? And it's the school administrator's job to support you in implementing YTP within the parameters of our intergovernmental agreement. And we can step in, we can help support, or we can help problem solve, but they are the folks who are your supervisor. And our special education teachers and school counselors are the drivers for educational services. So they've got the responsibility around the individualized education plans and 504 plans. It is super critical, though, that you have a really strong relationship with them. And you do end up helping to connect these folks with your VRCs and creating this team environment. That's part of the systems work of YTP. So those guys are critical on the team. But inviting them all, we never would have got through, right? The whole day if we were doing introductions with everybody. And then Kathy Cook, are you on?
I'm here.
Kathy Cook is here. All right, wonderful. Kathy is a VOC rehab counselor. That's where we're at on the page. And Kathy, do you want to talk a little bit about what the VRC does?
Sure. So I work over in Harney County, which is Burns, and also Grant County, which is John Day. I work with 2 separate YTPs, one in each county. And my role is, as a VRC, is to find students, typically on IEPs and 504s, eligible for VR services. And I work together with the schools, the YTP specialists, and the student and their support team to find out what kinds of vocational goals they would like to pursue after high school. And then we work together, we sign up an intake, and the most important role of the intake is bring their questionnaire and their picture ID and a social security card. That will get us up and rolling and find eligible relatively quickly. If they're presumed eligible, that will be a quicker onboarding system. I've been meeting with our council. We've been updating forms. So we've gone from, I believe, 9 forms down to 6 forms. So they're a little bit less cumbersome. for the students to work together with their YTP specialists.
Awesome. And what are a few reasons, like some common reasons that your transition specialist might call you?
First to do intakes, they typically have quite a few juniors and seniors that are looking at towards the summer, seeing what they are on pace to do. A lot of trade schools. I do a lot of secondary educations. So I really need to have those people on my team. Found eligible typically before January, and in plan, I like to have them by May, the latest, so that we can get ready for their summer and then their fall entrance into schools. Typically community colleges, we have an ICAP program, and also trade schools or just local jobs if that's what they're wanting to do.
Great. Thank you, Kathy.
Sure.
All right, so on your other sheet, I'm just gonna call it the map sheet because that's easier to say. Go ahead and think, hopefully you all know who your VRC is. Name your VRC on that sheet. If you don't know who your VRC is, follow up with one of us and we'll make sure you know who that person is. Thank you, Kathy. I just adjusted an audio setting. Does my voice sound any better at all? A little bit, maybe? Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Okay, so moving down the document, the YTP coordinator, that's me, Michelle Markle. I am your YTP coordinator for every one of you. And I get the wonderful privilege of leading YTP statewide, and I support all the things specifically around YTP budget and contracts. So I get all of the allowable spending questions, all of our budget and contract amendment paperwork comes through me. And then I am always available to problem solve systemic issues when other avenues haven't worked. As we transition away from the TAPS and the U of O, you guys can always call me. We're showing you this larger network, so you don't always have to call me. Sometimes I might have a little bit of a delay, but you can always call me. And the rest of the folks here are happy to help as they outline when we go through the rest of the roles too. So on your map sheet, you can put my name, Michelle Markle, under YTP coordinator. I am that for all of you. Now to our PREETS program coordinator, CJ Webb.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I am the PREETS program coordinator. And what that means is my role includes what Tony will go over in a little bit, but I oversee the statewide request for application summer work experience program that VR sponsors. And on the sheet, it says RFA, which is request for application. So people, programs, schools, organizations, or businesses apply for providing summer work to students with disabilities. So I spend time reviewing budgets, developing scopes of work for the contracts, and what is allowable spending within that. So I know a lot of YTP transition specialists throughout the state from doing this type of work. And so if you do have one of these agreements or contracts, you feel free to always reach out to me and ask any questions. I've also had people reach out who are thinking about summer work experiences for students. So that is what I do.
Thank you, CJ.
Sure.
So on your maps, on your big map sheet, you're gonna put, wait, I don't know that CJ, I don't think we ever actually got you on there. CJ Webb's your person. Before we sent that out, before I added her onto the map sheet, but just know she's your person. Sorry. All right. And then Triana, are you on here, Triana? I think Triana is buried doing double hand entry data that you hear us talking about all of the time, but you got to meet Triana last month in April when we rolled out the new tool. And Triana is the statewide VR Youth Data Coordinator, and she is going to be the main contact for reporting and other forthcoming measures around YTP and PREETs. And she's also going to be our web access point of contact moving forward when we are developing our new VR website. Okay. So that's Triana. She's statewide. Those are some of the reasons you can call her. Now we're moving on to our regional teams where it can get a little bit more confusing. But hopefully people walk out with more clarity than confusion. Oh, I hope so. All right, let's start with VR PREETs coordinator. Tony DePeel is going to be the spokesperson for this group.
Good afternoon. Hello. The VR PREETs coordinator, there's several of us throughout the state, and you'll figure out who is your regional coordinator when we're completed here. But they are the regional lead on all things VR youth services. So anything that's VR youth services, we're the lead in the region, including YTP until the new positions are hired. So you're welcome to talk to us and have questions. And if we don't have the answers, we most definitely will find the person or place for you to get the information. We should be your primary contact for the most current VR information. So any information that's coming out from VR, you can contact us and we will have that information. And we collaborate with schools and workforce partners to coordinate the provision of PREETs regionally in our areas. And with permission from parents, families, guardians, we will attend an IEP meeting and represent VR. Many, as how some of you transition specialists will go to an IEP meeting and talk about VR, we could actually be a sign-off on the IEP for and somebody coming from the agency. We conduct trainings and outreach throughout a lot of different ways, methods, and also provide PREETs to potentially eligible students. Although we do focus on schools that are non-YTP for this, but we also will deliver PREETs in a YTP school if there's a need. So yeah, anything PREETs. If you need some ideas about how to deliver PREETs, how, maybe some curriculum or, receive some even information from us on where to look for information on where to find curriculum for PREETs, you can contact us also.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony.
Yes.
Okay, so now is where, depending on where you're at, you could be pre-filling your VR PREETs coordinator if you can find that easily. And we're gonna do introductions around the state here in a moment if you can't. So hold tight if you can't. Now to a transition network facilitator. Sarah Statham, are you on?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome.
Hi. I'm Sarah Statham. I'm the transition network facilitator for Multnomah, Washington, Columbia, and Clatsop counties. I am one of 8 TNFs across the state, and we tend to be the regional point of contact or lead person for educational transition services. We do a lot of training and support to school districts and educators and our agency partners around all things related to educational transition services. We do a lot of coordinating and we help plan, organize, support, participate in regional events that many of you are either participate in or are hosting yourselves. And we also have, we have a large library of curriculum and assessment resources. If you are looking for things for individual student needs, we can provide you with that. And we also let me see, what else am I forgetting? I feel like there's so many things. We could also provide you information on like regional resources if you're looking for things. And we do, again, a lot of collaboration with the support specialists. We work with those folks and with the RIETS coordinators in our regions as well. Generally, we're here to help in any way we can, and just be a sounding board to help you with, I think, I know YTP wise, I've helped several YTP folks around looking for curriculum and some other just student-based information.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, on your map sheet, you do identify your own TNF. You can do that now or here in a little bit when everybody introduces themselves and we go through the list. Okay, and finally, we have the TNF Pre-ETH Support Specialist, Jody Johnson.
Hi, everyone. As you can see there, I am a pre-ETH support specialist for short. If we say TNF, it gets confusing. So, but part of the same team as Sarah just mentioned, I am region Multnomah, Washington, Columbia, Clatsop counties. There are only 4 of my position across the state. Not all of the state has seen the need for pre-ETH support specialists, generally in areas that have more YTP representation. That being said, we do a little bit of everything. Primarily though, the difference between my role and Sarah's role, for example, would be my concentration on providing pre-ETHs and transition services direct to students, whether it's one-on-one classroom instruction or regional like job clubs or industry tours, as many of you have experienced with me in the past, and other support specialists. We like to team up and collaborate with YTP specialists. However, main focus of my role, my attention is our schools and programs and districts that are not represented with a YTP specialist. And we are, we follow the same path as a pre-ETH coordinator regarding the request for pre-ETH services. The other difference between my role is I get the privilege and opportunity to provide professional development opportunities for especially our classified staff, and getting trained in and providing trainings for things like person-centered plans, or those who have been around, MEGI, and so those other kinds of workshops and and professional development. I don't know if I missed anything. But we get to work with and support both.
But it is, I mentioned that that statement at the beginning about like the YTP schools and the non-YTP schools, that actually really impacts Jody's role, that those 4 folks, probably more than anywhere else, because VR has this responsibility to make sure we're not like double resourcing, right? So if a place already has a YTP transition specialist, they're the primary person doing a lot of what Jody might be doing in non-YTP schools. Yep. Exactly. And her team. Yep. Okay, so now this is like a, if you print it out, it's a double-sider. So we're just going to go down this list. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm just going to walk us down the list. And at the same time, you can have your map document open and be filling out who your person is. But we're also going to finish with introductions, all right? So stop share. Is my sound getting any better, or do I still need to have my camera off?
You sound fine,
Camera
Michelle.
off.
You're fine.
Camera. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So again, school administrator is an essential part of your team and your support. It's really hard for all of us to keep track of like who's in what role. There's so much movement. So hopefully you know who your school administrator is. If you don't, let us know and we can help you identify that. If your school administrator is changing, please communicate that with myself or with your pre-ETS coordinator, or all of our T10 folks. If you learn of something, more communication is better in times of change, because it's hard to get the information out if we don't know where it's supposed to go. So school admin, yes, that'll vary by sometimes it's a building person, sometimes it's a district level person. It's different all over the place. Okay, special educator and counselors, same thing. Okay, and then with VRCs, we actually have 65 VRCs supporting YTP in our state, which is awesome. And that is a list that I have to update again too, but we can get out to people sometime soon, hopefully, and publish it on our new website. All right, then you've got me, and I'm gonna model really quickly. I'm Michelle Markle. I'm the YTP coordinator. I serve the whole state. And an interesting fact about me is that I'm currently obsessed with trying to make delicious pizza. So I'm super open to recipes if you know good pizza recipes. All right, so that's me. CJ, you're next.
Am I supposed to answer a question about pizza?
Yeah, you just say yourself. Oh, and I've been in this like 2.5 years. Oh, I didn't put that on there. You don't have to say how long. Just you, your role, your region, something funny about yourself.
So CJ Webb, my
Memorable.
pre-ETS program coordinator for the RFA summer work program. I'm statewide for pre-ETS coordinator. My counties are Tillamook down to Lincoln County, over to Lane County, up to Marion, and then I just dip around Yamhill. Something funny about me. Oh my gosh, you didn't prep me this morning, Michelle. I enjoy changes in my hair, meaning I have a burgundy wig, a blue wig, a pink wig, a black wig. I think I have another color. I just can't remember.
Very fun. All right. Triana, I don't think is still here. She's the data coordinator statewide. So many interesting things about her. You'll have to call her and connect with her, and she will fill you in. Okay, let's go to our VR pre-ETS coordinators. CJ has this half and half role. So CJ does this as well for a whole region. And then let's go to Mandy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mandy Younger, and I'm the Pre-Employment Transition Services Coordinator for Douglas, Curry, Coos, Jackson, Josephine, and Klamath counties. So I like to say it's the little southern corner of the state. Let's see, I've been in this role for 2.5 years. Something that I learned this weekend is dogs can get concussions. I had a dog get knocked out because he was running against somebody else. Didn't know that dogs can get concussions, but it's been a very exciting couple days.
Oh, your puppy is okay.
He's fine, but they can get concussions.
Okay. Yeah. Just to clarify, I said the length, but I wasn't actually asking for that because we're going to run out of time if everybody does that. But thank you very much. Okay, on to Desi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Desiree Berry. I'm the pre-ETS coordinator for Central and Eastern Oregon. Fun fact about me, I don't know if it's funny. I'm a Bend, Oregon native. It's rare anymore. So I was born and raised here. So native Oregonian, native Bendite. That's me.
Thank you, Desi. Okay, Tony, we already got to hear from you, but we want to hear again a review of where you are and something fun about
Okay, awesome. My name's Tony DePeel, VR pre-ETS coordinator. My area of service is Clackamas, Multnomah, Hood River, Wasco, Gillum, and Sherman counties. And let's see, 6 years last month, I started this role. And something funny about me is I really enjoy performing arts, as in clowning. So
That's so cool.
I also enjoy magic, puppets, and all those other fun things that children love. It makes me smile.
I love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Whitney.
Hello. I am up north. I'm basically Tony's counterpart. So I am the PREATS coordinator for Washington, Columbia, Clatsop, and Yamhill counties. This is a new role for me. So I've been in this role. I think this is my second or third month. So I'm excited to jump in and start working and meeting everybody. And something interesting or funny about me is that I enjoy playing video games on my time off. And I just started playing Call of Duty. So it's pretty awesome. And that's me.
Thank you, Whitney. Okay, so that's our VR PREATS coordinator crew. All right, now we're going to move on to the transition network facilitators. All together, they're going to, not all together, one at a time. They're going to introduce themselves, but we're working with TNFs here. And let's start with Cindy, if you're here. Cindy, are you here? No, Cindy. Okay, Cindy Cameron is a TNF and she serves Southern Oregon. Look on your map. Can everybody locate Cindy on the map document?
Klamath, Jackson, Josephine.
You're so good. Thanks, Mandy. I don't have it open right now. All right, Les Rogers, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, Les.
In Hobbiton. I'm Les Rogers. I serve Douglas, Coos, and Curry counties as a transition network facilitator. Yeah, and let's see, something interesting about me. I was one question away from getting on Jeopardy. And
whoa.
My wife always reminds me, one question left. You were so close.
That's so fun. Awesome. Thank you so much, Les. Josh Barber, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I can't get my camera. Oh, here it goes. I'm Josh Barber. I'm a transition network facilitator. I work in Lynn, Benton, Lincoln, and Lane counties. And like Les, I have a game show story, except mine is not as highbrow as Jeopardy. I tried out for the Australian version of American Gladiators, and I was pretty far away from being chosen, which now I'm grateful.
That's fascinating. How
Yeah.
lovely. Thank you, Josh. Okay, Avon, are you here? Avon. No Avon. Okay, Mandy, do you have your map open? Where does Avon cover?
I don't have my map open.
Don't have it open. Darn.
Avon is in Salem, Yamhill, that area.
Yeah, Avon is Marion, Polk, Yamhill, and Tillamook.
Are you all finding this info on the map? You know where to find it? Shall I share my screen and show you what we're looking at? I shall. We are looking at this thing here, right? So if I'm wondering where Avon serves, I'm in this middle category, transition network facilitator. I'm looking for Avon.
Michelle, camera.
Golly gosh, darn. Okay, anyway, I locate him here. He is under the yellow. I come up here and I look at yellow. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Stop sharing. We can keep looking at each other and keep moving along. Okay, Sarah, you were already here, but let's review your region and hear something fun about you.
Okay, Sarah Statham. I am Multnomah, Washington, Columbia, and Clatsop counties. Fun fact, I had toured most of Europe by the age of 3. But don't recommend taking a 3-year-old because we don't remember anything.
That is awesome. You need to go back. All right, so I'm looking at our time here, and I'm going to say let's pepper these a little faster, just a little bit faster, because I do need about 5 minutes for some VR updates at the end, okay? Thank you, Sarah. Chris, are you here?
I am. Hi, I'm Chris Rita. I work Clackamas, Hood River, Wasco, Sherman, and Gillum counties as a TNF. And fun fact, I was on a chainsaw crew in Montana in the early 90s. Done.
Woo! Like your new glasses. Thank you. Lon, are you on? Lon is not on. Lon covers over there, Eastern, North, and Eastern. And he's got lots of interesting things to learn about him. You should connect with Lon. Okay, Margie, are you on?
I'm here. My name is
Margie
Moore, and I support Deschutes, Jefferson, Crook, Wheeler, and Lake County. Fun fact, I am a TNF. I think we captured that. And fun fact, I used to be a competitive Irish step dancer.
There's so many things I didn't know about you guys even. This is amazing. I love it. Okay. That is our TNF crew. They're amazing people. We're so happy you're here. And now we're moving on to the TNF Pre-Net support specialists. And let's start off with Jody. Jody, we did hear from you, but what's a cool fact?
Yep. Hey all, reminder, I'm Jody Johnson, Portland Metro, Multnomah, Washington, Columbia, Clatsop counties. And fun fact about me is I am, my claim to fame is the number 10 caller, text in to win. I've won nationwide contests and just recently won 2 last week.
Wow, that's incredible. Very cool. All right, Sherry Townsend, are you here? Sherry's got a new grandbaby, so she may not be here. Okay, so Sherry covers the Mid-Willamette Valley area. And she's also got lots of fun facts and a new grandbaby. So let's all wish her happy joy with grandbaby. John Williams, are you here?
He's not.
John Williams is not here. John covers, somebody help me.
He covers Douglas Coos
They
and
all
Curry
mushed
along
together in
with
my
me.
brain.
Yeah, he covers Douglas
Douglas
Coos and Curry along with Wes as our pre-ets.
All right. All right, cool. Thank you. Lots of interesting facts about him as well. And is Donna on? Is Donna Lowry on? Not here today.
because Donna is a new grandma as well, and her grandbaby's in England.
Wow. Okay, so there's an interesting fact alone. Yeah, and Donna does north and east and some centrally stuff. Maybe not what most people would consider central. Anybody want to elaborate on that? Not central at all, Desi's like, no, there's nothing.
I wouldn't call it Central Oregon. It's Eastern Oregon.
Thank you. This is why we have maps, and this is why we're making the tool so that everybody can know. Now, we hope everybody was able to fill out most of their tool. If you were not, if you have questions, please call us. Call me, come to the YTP office hours that we have, and we will help to make sure that you know who your people are. All right, I'm gonna go quickly back to our presentation because I've got a few more updates. All right. I won't start from the beginning.
Camera.
Thank you. And we're at the beginning. Of course, we're at the beginning. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Now, prepping for June. All right, getting ready for future resources. Remember, we have our YTP office hours as a resource. We've got our VR YTP website in development. It is looking good. We are going to be starting a Welcome to YTP monthly events for new hires in July. We'll probably have one end of July, one end of August, because we know onboarding and welcoming new people is a big deal. And that's a huge thing that our TAPs have been doing. So stay tuned for more info about all of that. A really big update that I have for you guys is that the RSA draft auditing report is in. And I want to review with you the memo that was shared with our all staff. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'm going to share that thing with you so I can show you exactly what we've seen. All right. Okay. Can somebody say, I can't see you anymore. Can you all see this broadcast recast right here?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so this is from Director Keith Ozol's announcing that we have finally received the draft. And what does it say? The draft report provides 2 focus areas for us to work on, us being VR, performance and financial management. The report includes 26 findings split between those 2 different categories. The findings call for changes within 5 categories. Developer update policies, developer update internal controls, update contracts, including pre-ETS and YTP, report our work through ORCA, and financial reporting. Okay, so there's, to us, really, there's nothing new there. We knew those were areas that we needed to work on. We hope we've been communicating all along with you that these were potential changes coming. So there's nothing mind-blowing here or new or revealing. This is validating that we kind of basically thought we were on the right track. Okay, so what's next? We noticed some factual errors about the program. So the first step is to work with RSA to make those edits. Once we have a final report, we'll share it with all staff and with all of you. It becomes public, okay? Then we will work with RSA to develop a corrective action plan, or a CAP. We'll build the plan in conjunction with our strategic planning work and with VR staff at all levels. We absolutely will be getting your feedback within advisory stuff as well, advisory groups. We've got a lot of people helping us out here. These are called VRTAC, they're Vocational Rehabilitation Technical Assistance Centers. So VRTAC on quality employment, VRTAC on quality management. We're working with NTACT and the National Technical Assistance Center on transition. And we're working with our ORCA team, that's Alliance, our client information system. This has got some good little visuals. Our corrections go to RSA by tomorrow. They review our edits. They send us a final report, which will get sent to SRC, which will get published on the public website. We will share all of that with VR staff and contracted partners. We will work with RSA to develop a corrective action plan, and then we will get started on addressing the findings. How does this all align with our current modernization projects? RSA's findings align with our current efforts to streamline and improve data entry in ORCA. They also align with VR's plans for youth services. The youth team will continue to work on current modernization projects, such as developing internal controls and processes, creating a pre-ETS vendor portal for contractors to have direct electronic access to documents and invoice for services, hiring a VR youth services manager and 4 transition services coordinators. The governor's recommended budget still includes these. Yay. How does this report affect staff and the program? For the short term, this will have little impact on our daily work. Over the long term, these changes will improve our program and bring us into compliance with RSA. Better data means we will be able to capture and report all of the good work that we're already doing, and it will be easier for us to do our jobs to serve Oregonians. How does the RSA report align with Mark Schultz's recommendations and our strategic planning efforts? This gentleman is the person we hired as a consultant to help us through this process. Our strategic planning efforts will continue as planned with a targeted completion date in July, this July. We will simultaneously be developing our CAP required by RSA And where it makes sense, elements of the CAP may be incorporated into our strategic plan. I'm gonna guess they will be. Here's a nice little timeline again. May, we're refining details. June, we're defining how. So that's, we're making a proposed plan, and then July we'll be getting input on that. All right, so it's happening. We should know soon more details, even though we don't have them right now. Our VR exec team is the one with the draft report. They're going to hold on to that. They're going to hang on till we have a final one in order to minimize confusion there. Okay, so it's coming. And please stay in touch with us as changes are happening, or you know changes within your own teams, so that we can communicate clearly with you as the changes come about, right? Let your administrators know to please attend the administrator communities of practice or to reach out to me. The final thing I wanted to share with all of you, I know you're seeing the, not the presentation version. You're just seeing this right here, but I wanted to remind you, everybody, we have an awesome celebration happening in Eugene to celebrate all of the U of O folks who've been involved in making YTP what it is. You are all invited to this. You're all invited to this. If you can come, it is going to be, this doesn't have a date, but I think we decided on a time. Is it the time 5 to 7? Can anybody remember the time? 5 to 7 p.m.?
3:30 to 5:30?
Oh, thank you. 3:30 to 5:30 in Eugene at the Graduate. Here's the QR code if you want to take a snapshot of that right now to get to sign up to get information about it. Please do that. We'd love to see everybody there, as many as you can. Yes, I can hear Mary Jo asking me to remind people that YTP funds can't be used for this. It is just a party for adults to have a good time. All right. And that is the conclusion of the day, 3 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here. I'll hang on a little bit if people have questions or comments, but you're free to go. Otherwise, thanks everybody so much.